you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody. Yes, I'm hurt, yes, I'm dead. Most things that I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you change.
Hey you guys, welcome back to TaylorXo, or welcome to TaylorXo if you're a new subscriber. So y'all, let's get into this video because I definitely want to do a disclaimer before I do this video, because I know a lot of people, I know some people have been informed about it, some have not. Some don't, go on Lipstick Alley, some do. So, when I did make the community post of what I had seen on LSA, I know a lot of people were commenting under the video saying, like, what's going on, what's happening. And I specifically didn't really want to get into it because I wanted to do my own video to basically explain, my true thoughts on the situation. I feel like it just didn't deserve, a quick comment or a quick post. And so first and foremost, I want to do a disclaimer that this is all alleged things that, people or somebody decided to go on LSA and say because they say that they are ex-mod of Liv and they used to personally talk to Liv. And they said that, Liv told them some things about Jazzy and what's been going on in her home. And one of the things had to do with Kaylin. Now, you guys know that there's been history of this man looking at these girls in weird ways, going in the bathroom while they're in the bath, checking on them during the nighttime. One of the girls saying that they recall waking up on the couch when they were in the bed. And, a lot of the times people do hate when people falsely accuse, especially men of things like this because, this is a serious accusation that I just don't think that should just be thrown around just so lightly and just, just to put this on somebody who clearly was innocent of doing it. So the true disclaimer to this is that this is all alleged. This is speculation. It could possibly be true. I mean, the only reason why I decided to make this video is because, it's not like there wasn't any claims of this man doing this before. Now, I'm not going to say that he did this before, but there's been claims of him, walking in on the girls while they're, in the bathroom. When he first started dating Jazzy, he took one of the girls downstairs with him while he did something in the car, and one of the girls came back crying. He took the girls on a hike without Jazzy, and I just find that very strange. I mean, a lot of the times people think that these predators are people who have done repeated offenses and just, are just out here just doing offense after offense, but there's a first time for everything. And whether or not this man may be, or whether or not the person could be old or young, it's always a first time for somebody to start doing something. And that's obviously how a criminal is created, and a criminal, predator, whatever it may be, because they're all the same. But, obviously people have different names for different things. So, I think that's what throws a lot of people off, being that his background doesn't really have much of any assault or things like that, pertaining in a sexual way or towards minors or kids or just people, period. So I think that has what's, kept people from really believing what's really going on. And not only that, but I do feel as though that the girls are old enough to voice things. And, if there was truly something as serious as, to whatever extent it may be, I truly think that the girls would tell something. I mean, they've been around Philip for almost a year now. I think that if something was that serious to that extent, maybe they would, but maybe they wouldn't, because we all know that Chris, especially men, predators, they like to manipulate and, try to scare the victims most of the time into not speaking up or not saying anything because, they don't want to eventually get caught, or they don't want anybody to catch on to what they're truly doing. And, the reason why I would maybe think that this is, a possible thing that could be going on, because, we all know that men, also predators, like to seek out single mothers who have a bunch of kids and no support. And, a lot of the times that's what happens, and it starts from there and it just goes from there. And, it's also unfortunate when you have a mother in the home also that doesn't really take attention to little things like Jazzy does. And even if one of these girls, I think, did come up to her and say, like, Chris is doing this, he's doing that to me, I really don't think that Jazzy would, kick this man out or just have any of that, energy, like, on the type time where she wants to kill him or get him locked up or, get some type help or, just get something done to this man for what he has done. But, we know that Jazzy is super, super desperate, and at whatever cost, she'll keep a man there. And if it means hushing her kids up or, saying little things that may not be right, but, for her sake, she sweeps him under the rug because she doesn't want to confront him and possibly have him walk out the door. So maybe she has excused a lot of things, but, it could go so many ways. And, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to do it, because I don't want to put anything, that serious, especially on somebody who didn't do something. But like I said, there's been multiple claims of this man doing very funny things, and not really with Aiden but with the girls. And he's not the biological father of these girls, and not even to say that that's normal for a biological father to walk in on a 10-year-old bathing or a 6-year-old bathing, but it just makes all the more difference that is the biological father. And a lot of the times these women think that these men are coming in and trying to be all, so buddy with their kids and get this great relationship, especially with their daughters. And they think that this man has all the good intentions in the world, when the whole time this man is trying to, groom and do things to these girls, to try to get them to get more comfortable and, get more willing to do things. And that's just how it goes. And like I said, a lot of the times these women are 30, 40 plus, but they just still don't get, the intentions of, men and what possibly could happen when you do have, kids by another man, specifically daughters, and you do bring a new man in the home. But like I said, most women, they're so hard up for, a man there, to get some, action from a man, to get some type of just anything that's from a man, as long as it's coming from a man. And, the kids pay for it in the end, but that's just, the unfortunate thing about it. And, Kaylin and Amaya and Ava don't give me the vibes that, they will be girls that will be so willing to tell people what's truly going on. I think, maybe Chris could manipulate them into thinking that this is normal, or it's, something that, men do to girls. You just don't know. And to just say that, oh, well, it's not that, you're reaching, or, that's how things like this happen. Girls end up getting assaulted and, missing and murdered and whatever, because, a lot of people just assume that people are reaching and just being dramatic. But, a lot of the times when, people are doubting it the most is when it really is happening the most. So let's get into this clip of him back then when he first met Jazzy, and they were on live together. And this was one of the first lives they did. And, people had seen a clip of him and how he looked at the girls. And it was just a very, very weird feeling that I got from this clip. And this clip right here is why I'm making this video, because, by the little things that have happened, like I keep saying throughout this time of him being there and her showing him, too many things just have too many little things that has happened to not think this one big thing has happened. So let's get into this clip and then we will talk about it.
Ava. Ava, it's your mama. Really? You did that on purpose?
She definitely need that agua.
Huh? When you go down on the game?
Tomorrow in the morning.
Yes.
What's up, baby?
Then you go down on the
I'm gonna do it. All right, now go get in bed. Hurry.
So those were some clips from my Shabby Life. And, if you guys haven't watched that, you can watch those clips in there, because since then, I think the live that I had that got that clip from has been deleted. But my Shabby Life did a very good job at, exposing what was truly going on in that house, that a lot of people, I think, didn't all add it up to that, to see it like that. And, I think, like I said, after I showed this post of what somebody went on to LSA to say about him, some people will say, it's terrible to put out something like that on somebody when you really don't know what's truly going on. But like I said, I think that there has to be some voices for these kids in that house, because we've seen time and time again that, Jazzy and, Chris and Philip and whoever else, her mother, that's over there, just doesn't really seem to really put much effort into trying to see what's truly going on. And, that's the thing. It really makes Liv look some type way if this was true and she truly confided in somebody and told somebody that. And the fact that, she may have called the cops, but she didn't really, take it any further. I mean, I'm sure that that wasn't the first time she heard something inappropriate out of his mouth to one of the kids. And, I'm sure there's a lot of other things. Liv made it clear that she does know that has what really goes on in that house and that we don't even know the half of it. So, I truly do think that, this is a possibility. And like I said, you guys, I really want to get you guys comment on this, because like I said, it's a tricky situation. But, if Liv really has been seeing a bunch of patterns of this going on throughout the friendship of Jazzy, and she has kept quiet because maybe she doesn't want to be involved, or she doesn't want to, get anybody in trouble, or whatever the reason may be, it's sickening. It's even more sick that, you have other people, outsiders, that do know what's going on, but they don't say anything. And, it just leads me to believe that if Liv and Chrissy, because even Chrissy had mentioned something along the lines that, something was being done to the kids. Now, I heard from multiple people that Chrissy did say that it wasn't any type of assault, or anything like how we were thinking. But, I guess it was some type or something that happened between Chris and the kids that she was disgusted by, that she didn't want to speak on. So, if all these people are seeing what's going on, from the outside, then why doesn't, her mom or Philip truly get to the bottom of what is all going on? I mean, it's bad enough that if Chris is in there beating Jazzy, that they have to see that. But then you have stuff like this being done to them that is just even, more, just traumatizing. So let's get into this post that somebody came on to LSA to say that, Liv told her. She said that she was an ex-mod of Liv, and Liv confided in her and told her this. And, like I said, it could be somebody random. It could be, Olivia's mod. We know that, I said Olivia, I always call her Liv. And we know that Carol was one of Liv's very good mods. So maybe it was Carol, who knows? But let's get into this post and then we will talk about it. So she said, during Texas's cold snap when the temps dropped extremely low, Jasmine and Liv were on the phone. Kaylin walked into the room with a tank top on. Jasmine told her to go into her room and put something on. Kaylin stood there speaking her fast-talking gibberish. Jasmine said, Kaylin, go put a shirt on. That is when Hips looked at Kaylin and said, nipples hard like your mama's. Girl, go put a shirt on. Liv said, what did he say? And Jasmine said, he didn't say nothing bad. She just came in here with a tank top on and he told her to put a shirt on. Liv said the way he said it made her skin crawl, like he was licking his lips, and spoke breathy when he said, nipples hard like your mama's. Liv said she told Jazzy to check that, I guess, whatever name calling that she was trying to say to Chris. But Jazzy said he didn't mean anything bad. This explains why Kaylin flinched in that video when he went to adjust something, her hat or clothes. I forgot what item exactly, but when he moved his hands near her, she jumped back and flinched. So you guys, my bad for that reading. It was like a run-on sentence after sentence after sentence. There were no periods. But so somebody clearly said that this is what Liv told her, and it was very detailed. I know some people were saying, like, anybody could say this, but it just seemed too detailed for it to be lying. And I mean, like I said, I would think that if somebody was going in this much of detail and saying what Jazzy said back, what Liv said back, I mean, obviously people can think up of these whole things in their mind. People get delusional. We know Liv and Jazzy are delusional. So it's not like it's so far out of the way for, somebody to not be able to come up with this. But it did sound detailed. It did sound like something, because if it's not Liv or Liv's mod, then it's obviously somebody that's been watching Liv for a while that knew, what Jazzy usually says back and what Chris says back. But, people were saying, like, could this be Liv that went on to LSA to start spilling this tea? Because, we obviously know that she didn't want to spill it on YouTube because she didn't want Jazzy to come back and spill her. So is this the start of her spilling, all what she wanted to say on LSA, and she's passing it off like she's somebody else? But we know that, like I said, anybody can pretend to be anybody. Anybody can, Liv could sign up on LSA and make a whole other name and, just start telling the business. That's just how the internet works. So I will say that if this is true, this is probably one of the most sickening things I ever heard. I mean, especially being that, they're going on 4 years together, and this has been, a lengthy time for him to, say one thing after the next, and do funny things like going in the bathroom, like I said, and doing all these weird things with the girls. You would think that would have been the last straw for Jazzy to just say, you know what, you got to go. You're not about to keep, making those sexual things towards my daughter, say those type things. I mean, I would have killed him right then and there. That's just me. But, you do have some mothers who don't really care about things like that. And they'll just, as long as they can still keep the man in the house, they don't care. So, I go on to say that this is, again, a disclaimer to people who have went through this. I know this does cause a lot of trauma and PTSD up again for people who have went through this. And, it is a disclaimer to say that this is all alleged, like I said. But, this is just a waiting game. I know a lot of people don't follow LSA, but it is, a place where people just kind of talk behind the scenes, just like a thread of people talking back and forth about different celebrities and, YouTubers and people on there. And, Liv and Jazzy and Chrissy all know about LSA. They go on to read their own threads. So that's why I say, I mean, if Liv is on there looking at the threads, Jazzy's on there, Chrissy's on there, it's just not out of the way to think that Liv decided to go on there and, finally tell her truth, just in the type of like a trolling type way. So, I really do hope that if this is true, that, these girls get the help and, Jazzy is held responsible for allowing this. A lot of the times people always get on the abusers, but they don't get on the people, especially the mothers who sit back and allow and know these things are going on, but they just are just, blind-eyed to it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it, and they don't care about it. And, I do think that even if this isn't true, there's, I feel like there's something that Chris has done to these kids for his relationship to be the way it is with the kids. I mean, for him to be there as long as he is, I don't really see the, true like bond or, kind of like friendship that Chris and the kids have. It's always seemed to just be a very weird relationship between him and those kids. We know that he's hit Aiden. So, all these things that are coming up, and this woman still proceeds to have this man in her home around her kids. And, as of right now, I know a lot of people are saying that he's not there because he's ordered to not be there. So maybe that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I don't know, y'all. And, nobody's really pulled any receipts, any court documents on any of this stuff. So like I always say, it is alleged because, until you have like actual receipts or court documents or something like that stating that this is what truly went on, this is all talk. But this is really something that I wanted to put out there, because, if it does happen to come out eventually that this was the truth, I just, am glad that I did make a video on it and make people aware that this is possibly something. I know a lot of people have always possibly suspected that Chris is a predator, but, for somebody to go and come out and, say something as that, serious and say that they do know Liv and they had heard it from Liv's mouth, it is something to think about. But comment down below, you guys, what you guys think about this whole situation. It's just a waiting game. And, whether it was done or it wasn't, the kids still are in, a very neglectful, abusive situation over there. Whether it may not be that, which I hope and pray it's not. It's not like I'm coming on here trying to press the issue like, oh my God, it is, I want it to happen. But like I said, it's more of so just bringing attention to things, or to the people who, may not see these things. Because like I said, a lot of people in the comments on my post were saying that they didn't know what LSA was. So comment down below what you guys think of this whole LSA post and, the prior incidents that have happened with Chris and the girls. But thank you guys so much for watching, and please stay tuned for another one.
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different.